The Germans call her one of the most inimitable actresses in Germany, and the French consider her the pearl of their cinema. In Austria, the face of this actress was immortalized in a monument to Queen Elizabeth. It was this role that made Romy Schneider a national heroine. In 2018, the movie star who conquered millions of hearts around the world would have turned 80 years old. The iconic actress died when she was only 43 years old, but the public still remembers her and admires her talent. Therefore, it is quite natural that the repertoire of the Berlin Film Festival in 2018 could not do without a film dedicated to Romy Schneider. Amelia Attef's film 3 Days in Quiberon tells the story of the days the actress spent on the coast of France in 1981, a difficult time for her. The interviews with Romy on which the film is based are stunning in their revelation. They make the viewer feel the pain, the longing, the loneliness of a beautiful woman, a famous actress who was never able to find herself. Sixth-generation actress Romy Schneider, Rosemary Magdalena, was born in Vienna in September 1938. She was destined to become a film star from birth. She is a sixth-generation actress. The marriage of her parents, the famous Austrian actors Wolf Albacretti and Magda Schneider, was short-lived. Therefore, at first, Rosemary and her brother lived with their grandmother, and from 1949 onwards, she studied at a closed Catholic school near Salzburg. At the age of 15 in 1953, the sweet girl found herself on the set of the film When the White Lilac Blooms Again, Wenn der Weiße Flieder wieder blüht, in which her mother also starred. In this film, Romy played her first episodic role, and the debut exceeded all expectations. She would then consolidate her first success a year later with the leading role in the film Feuerwerk. Romy Schneider in the melodrama When the White Lilac Blooms Again, still from the film. But the meeting with an old friend of her mother, director Ernst Marischka, became truly fateful for Romy Schneider. The young Queen Victoria of Great Britain, played by a 16-year-old girl in his film The Young Years of the Queen, will forever remain in the hearts of viewers. Inspired by the success, Ernst Marischka decided to create a historical trilogy about the life of the Austrian Empress Elizabeth. In 1955, the first part was released under the title Sissi, as the Empress was affectionately called by the people. In the same year, Austria separated from Germany, of which it had been a part since 1938. So the release of the film on the screens became not only a cultural, but also a political event. Romy Schneider becomes a national favorite, the pride of the nation. Romy Schneider with Karl-Heinz Bohm, her co-star in the film Sissi, the Young Empress, still from the film. A year later, the second film was released, Sissi, the Young Empress, Sissi, 𝐑𝐞𝐬𝐮𝐫. But if during the work on the first part, Romy was in euphoria and enjoyed the game, then the filming of the second was already beginning to weigh on the young girl. There was even a moment when she wanted to refuse to participate in the film at all. In the third part, Sissi, the difficult years of an empress, Sissi 𝐒𝐞𝐬𝐮𝐫, the 19-year-old actress played the already adult Queen Elizabeth, Princess and Boor, an affair with Alain Delon. The role of Sissi brought Romy great fame, national love and fabulous fees. But from that time on, the actress had to make a lot of effort to free herself from the image of the Austrian empress. She refused to play in the fourth part of the saga, and in 1958, at the insistence of her mother, she accepted an offer to star in the film Christine and left for Paris. On the set, Romy Schneider met the young, then little-known actor Alain Delon. Interestingly, the actress chose Delon as her partner herself, from a photograph. But at their first personal meeting, the actors did not like each other at all. She did not speak French, he did not know German. Alain was rude and cheeky. He, the son of a butcher, was irritated by the refined aristocratic manners of the German goose. And Romy, in turn, did not understand how one could kiss this boor. But the actors did not notice how the magical power of art turned their passionate love on screen into a stormy romance in life. Delon's passionate kiss, required by the script, melted the heart of the unapproachable princess, and marked the beginning of one of the most shocking love stories of the 60s. Romy's duet with Anthony Perkins in the drama The Trial, 1962, still from the film. A blow from a loved one, I give you back your freedom. But if the careers of 𝐘𝐬𝐮𝐫 and Romy were on the rise, their personal life was far from cloudless. Although for the public they still remained a beautiful star couple. Now the actors spent a lot of time on the set. In 1963, Romy left for Hollywood, and 𝐘𝐸𝐿 continued to live his usual life without obligations. Romy learned about his affair with the model and aspiring actress Natalie Barthélemy from the newspapers. And in the summer of 1964, Romy Schneider, returning to Paris, received a letter from the frivolous handsome man. I give you back your freedom and keep your heart for myself. 𝐘𝐸𝐿 married another. This shocking news almost leads the star to death. She tries to commit suicide by cutting her veins. In 1965, the actress moves back to Germany. Cinema brings her back to life, a new relationship with the famous German actor and director 𝐒𝐿𝐿, subsequent marriage, 1966, and the birth of her son David. From the outside, Romy seemed like a truly happy woman. A long-awaited child, a loving husband, world fame. But a phone call from 𝐘𝐸𝐿 with an invitation to play the lead role in the film Swimming Pool, La Piscine, became a fatal turn in her future fate and the fate of her loved ones. A still from the film Swimming Pool, which became fatal for the movie star. Despite her husband's objections, Romy agrees to take part in the film and leaves for the shoot. She again finds herself next to the man whom, as it turned out, she continued to love. The illusion of family happiness was destroyed. And although Romy and 𝐘𝐸𝐿 convinced everyone that they were playing love strictly according to the script, the passionate embraces in the photographs spoke of a new stage in the romantic relationship between them. However, the reunion did not happen. After filming the film, they broke up. Family life with 𝐒𝐿𝐿 also cracked. Her husband could not forgive her for renewing the affair with 𝐘𝐸𝐿, fell into depression and started drinking. In 1973, Romy and her son moved to Paris, and in 1975, she finalized her divorce, and that same year, she married her secretary Daniel 𝐒𝐿𝐵, who was 10 years younger than her. They had a daughter, Sarah. However, these family ties also turned out to be fragile. In 1979, 𝐒𝐿𝐵 committed suicide by hanging himself with Romy's scarf in his apartment. His death finally destroyed the actress's mental balance. Romy fell into a deep depression. Alcohol and drugs appeared in her life, and health problems began. But it was in the 70s that Romy was at the peak of her popularity. She worked a lot, and her best film roles came during this period. Her professional career and personal happiness were at opposite poles in the actress's life. Too high a price. In 1981, Romy divorced 𝐒𝐿𝐵. She underwent a difficult operation to remove a kidney. But the most terrible thing was the absurd, tragic death of her beloved 14-year-old son David. It is difficult to describe Romy's condition. Her already fragile world collapsed overnight. She drowned out the pain of losing her son with alcohol, tranquilizers and cigarettes. The only person she could see at that time was 𝐿𝐿𝐵. He surrounded her with attention and care, organized David's funeral. The death of her son finished off the actress completely. She lost the desire to live. Neither new roles nor new acquaintances could bring back the old Romy. She drank more and more, almost never went outside. There was no trace left of her former beauty. On May 29, 1982, Romy Schneider's heart could not stand the loneliness and stopped beating. She had to pay too high a price for fame and success. But even more than 30 years after Romy Schneider's death, her phenomenon is of interest to the general public. The actress starred in 57 films, and to this day remains the brightest star of 20th century cinema. It is not surprising that at the 2018 Berlinale, the black-and-white film 3 Days at 𝐒𝐿𝐵, dedicated to the legendary Romy, won 7 victories out of 10 nominations, including a gold statuette in the Best Film nomination. What could be behind the talent of a great actress? Romy Schneider's life was full of bright roles and recognition, but behind all this was personal drama and incredible pain. Watch the video ahead and find out how tragedies forged her character and led her to eternal glory. Romy Schneider. Beauty, pain, and eternal glory. When we think of Romy Schneider, we don't just think of an actress, but but of a woman whose life and career were intertwined with deep personal dramas. Her talent was recognized by the highest French film award, Cesar, but the path to success did not end there, because success is followed by blows of fate that not everyone can withstand. The tragedy that changed everything. One of the hardest moments in her life was the death of her beloved son at the age of 14. He died after running into a spike while trying to climb over a fence. This blow was too much for Romy, who had been living under the pressure of inner demons for many years. The death of her child only hastened her end, which came 2 years later. Romy's personal life was full of adversity. There were always many men around her, but, as she herself said, they all left behind only shadows. These relationships brought her more suffering than happiness. Her words revealed a longing for love that she could never achieve. Believing that happiness was constantly eluding her, she sank deeper and deeper into the world of her fears and anxieties, often resorting to medication to cope with it. Early success and unforgettable roles. Her career began early. At just 15 years old, she first appeared on screen in the film When the White Lilac Blooms. Even then, it was clear that we had a future star in front of us. Other works followed, including Fireworks, March for the Emperor, and of course the famous Sissi. Her image of Empress Sissi became one of the most recognizable in European cinema. With each new film, her popularity grew, but so did the responsibility. Romy always tried to show more on the screen than just a pretty picture. Her heroines were alive, deep and multifaceted, which made her a favorite actress of millions. The last film and grief. Her last work was the film Passerby from Sanssouci, which was released in 1982. But a few weeks after the premiere, Romy was gone. She was only 43 years old, and her death shocked fans around the world. Many believed that her personal tragedies and losses were the reason for her death. Nevertheless, her memory lives on. There are streets named after her in Paris and Vienna, and the Austrian film industry has established an annual Romy Award, given to the best actors in film and television. Two sides of one personality. Alain Delon, with whom Romy had a difficult relationship, said that she always had two opposite natures. A sweet, gentle woman and a strict, cloyingly correct lady. These internal contradictions became her tragedy, but they also made her images on screen so heartfelt and real. Romy Schneider was not just a beautiful actress. She was a symbol of an era whose life and death remain a mystery. Behind her beauty and talent there was a great pain that she carried throughout her life, and this is what gives her images such incredible depth and appeal. The impact of a Nazi father on Romy Schneider's life and career. Romy Schneider was born into an artistic family, where her father, Wolf Albocretti, was a famous Austrian actor. However, his involvement with the Nazi regime during World War II was a dark spot in her life. Wolf was a member of the NSDAP and was active in the cultural activities of Nazi Germany, while continuing his film career during this period. Although his contribution to propaganda films was limited, the fact of his membership in the Nazi Party and service in the Wehrmacht left an indelible mark on him. After the war, this episode in his biography darkened the family's reputation and influenced the attitude towards Romy in certain circles. For Romy Schneider herself, her father's Nazi past was a source of internal conflict and a strained relationship with him. She sought to distance herself from his legacy, especially after moving to France, where she worked with progressive directors and became one of the leading actresses in European cinema. Although she never publicly discussed her father's political past, it has surfaced periodically throughout her career, adding tragic depth and a struggle with family demons to her image. The legacy of Romy Schneider. After her death, her work became a symbol not only of European cinema, but of an entire cultural era. She was recognized not only for her mastery, but also for her ability to convey real feelings on screen. In her words, "I can do nothing in life, but on screen, everything." One can hear the bitter irony that so accurately reflects her fate. Romy Schneider remains in the memory of the audience not only as a great actress, but also as a woman whose life was full of hardships, but her love for art made her immortal. Her life reminds us that behind every great talent lies its own personal trials. That's all in today's video. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.